everybody. It's Safi and Marco here. But today we're going to rank all of our Stephen King movies that we previewed, that we reviewed and talked about during the Stephen King month, and also combine it with all the ones I've seen. And then Marco is going, and I'm going to rank them today. And Marco is going to do a separate podcast and rank all the ones that he's seen, including the ones that we reviewed during the recent Stephen King week. So here we go. I guess I'm going to just start with number one. You think usually
No, start with the worst.
Okay, Marco wants me to start with the worst. Well, I really hate ranking things, but the way I did it was I put it into three sections: the worst movies, like medium movies that there were good things about them, and then they were okay, and then the best ones, the ones that I really remember, or things about them that really appealed to me. So okay, well, the last one, and I just wanted to tell you too, Marco and I, other than the ones that we watched during the week, we have not seen the same movies. So that's why we're doing different rankings, because I mean, he has seen he watched us.
I think I've seen a couple more than her, like 5.
Yeah, he's watched us a lot more movies than I do, because I have other things I have to do.
That's not true, Safi. You just watch shitty Hallmark movies that nobody cares about.
That's not true. But anyway, let's move along. Okay, well, the last one, I've seen 24 movies, okay? The last one is Children of the Corn 6. And I picked that because casting was better in the first one. And I'll discuss that a little bit when we get to Children of the Corn. And I don't think the franchise should have extended out this far unless they could commit to making a good story and good casting. Okay, 23 is Tommyknockers. And it was unmemorable, and I even read the book. And I know it was about aliens, but I just did not like this movie. It just turned me off. Okay? Number 22, Storm of the Century. I thought it was a weird story, and there's a great villain. That guy's really good at being a villain. But I thought the ending was depressing, and it was just there are a lot of depressing things on it. I guess it's like goes with having a storm like that, which is so volatile and scary.
And the funny thing is that Safi ranted and raved about The Stand having filler, but in my opinion, Storm of the Century has the most filler out of any of his TV movies that I've seen.
I don't know.
So.
I don't remember that. I just think that there are lots of storylines in it and everything. Just I don't know if there's really much anything positive, and I don't like that. He must have been depressed when he wrote the book.
Maybe he was on drugs, like usual.
Okay, number 21 is Pet Sematary. I agree it's scary, but I don't like it because animals and kids get killed. I can't stand that. Okay, sorry. Okay, then 20 is The Mist. For some reason I kind of like the movie, but I don't remember it much. And I think I even read the book, which I can't imagine why I did read the book, but whatever, it's not memorable enough for me to give it a good review. Okay, 19 is The Running Man. That has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I thought it was good casting. It's a dystopian movie, and I thought it was a fair movie. 18 is Carrie. Carrie is Stephen King's first book. It's supernatural, it's scary. Sissy Spacek, and I'm talking about, this is the first one that was ever made. Sissy Spacek did a good job, but I thought it was really depressing. I just don't care for depressing movies. I think the thing is, as I've gotten older, I don't want to see depressing movies anymore.
And I want everyone to remember that this list is her opinion. This is not like her saying, "Oh, Carrie is objectively bad because it's depressing." It's her.
Right.
It's her saying
That's my opinion.
she doesn't like it because it's depressing.
Well, it's okay. It's scary, and it's a supernatural movie, which I think is it's good. It's not. It makes it different from other scary movies. It has its own spin, and that's his first book, based on his first book. Okay, 17 is The Langoliers. That was on TV, and I've watched that a few times. I thought the casting was really good, and it's an interesting story. There's kind of there's a Twilight Zone story where they're on an airplane and they go into a different time thing, but it's completely different. And this is a lot more violent, of course. I'll never forget the guy who I don't remember his name, the actor. He was actually in a comedy sitcom for years, and then he made this movie, and he's playing this guy who has super anxiety. He's got to get to a meeting, and of course they go into this time warp black hole or whatever you want to call it.
He's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
If he wasn't in the movie, it would suck.
Probably, but I'll never forget him shredding the paper into strips to alleviate his anxiety. I don't know who told him to do that, maybe his therapist, I don't know. But it was really memorable. And then sorry. And then the metallic jawed Pac-Man monsters. That was really scary. I mean, they're huge. They're like giant building-sized metallic Pac-Mans that have giant sharp teeth and chomping up the airport tarmac and anything that came into its. And that was time. It was the past. It was eating up the past. It was just really scary and weird. Okay, number 16.
Just remember, everyone, this is Safi's opinion.
Okay, Marco, they know that. Okay, number 16 is The Dead Zone. I thought it was a strange and a better supernatural story, and I loved Christopher Walken's performance. I thought he did a primo job, and it reminded me of that Deer Hunter movie in which he does an amazing job there too, which I'd like to watch again, but it's kind of a depressing story. But the performances in that movie, Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, and Christopher Walken, just remind me, because he's about the same age. He's like a couple of years older or younger, I can't remember, but anyway, he's a really good actor. Okay, 15 is Returns to Salem's Lot. It's scary, but I like the first one better. Okay, 14 is The Stand. I thought it dragged in parts, but the casting is good, and I was really put off that Rob Lowe did not have play a bigger part in the plot. I guess they made him pop in, maybe it was just his voice to further the plot and, finish it off, but I wish he would have been able to be in it, because I thought he did a really good job. I liked his part a lot. And Gary Sinise had a good part too. I mean, he did a good job. And I thought it was an interesting story. Number 13 is Stand By Me. I thought it was a solid movie and a good story, good casting. I thought it was, even though there's a murder in it, I thought it seems more like a kid's movie, a boy's movie, and I didn't want to watch it again. The song that's Stand By Me is a very famous song. I don't think it's associated, it was made before the movie. It's a good song, so it's all a good thing.
It was made in the 60s, Safi. 60s or 50s.
Not the movie.
No, the song.
Yeah, the song. So, but it goes very well with the movie, so it's all good, but not good enough to be in my top 10. Okay, The Shining 2 is number 12, and unlike Marco, I didn't think it was a bad remake. I think they did things a little bit differently, and they had different actors, But I I liked it. Number 11 was Silver Bullet. That's the one of the movies we reviewed this week. It's a short, scary movie, and they could have added a lot more to the story. And I was disappointed by the fact that they didn't talk about the origin of the werewolf. And I thought it was because it was made into a short movie and they chopped it up. But apparently, I looked at the book synopsis, and he didn't have the origin of the werewolf in that either. And I still can't get over that. But to me, the best part of this movie was Gary Busey. Um, I thought he did just an excellent job. He just made the whole movie for me. Okay, now I changed things around. So Rose Red used to be my favorite movie, because it has a lot of good scares, and it's an interesting story. And plus the fact we went to see the house, it was kind of based on the Winchester House in San Jose, California. We actually got to see it this summer, so that really added to it. And I've read all the books associated with the movie too. Sometimes when you read the books and see the movie, it adds to a positive, well, maybe even a negative too, but it adds to your opinion, whatever it is about the movie. But anyway, I moved that to 10 because there were other ones that we saw, and then I thought about the ones I have seen that I thought were better. Because the one problem I really had with the movie, and I was reminded of it when I watched it again for the Stephen King week, was that the fact that one of the main characters called the biggest ghosty a vampire, and it made no sense. It's almost as bad or worse than Silver Bullet, when you had a werewolf coming out of nowhere for no reason. They called this ghosty, which was almost alive, a vampire. And there's nothing anywhere in the story, the movie, nothing in the book, because I've read all the books, about there being vampires. So I don't get that. I don't know if somebody just stuck that in, or he was just calling it a vampire, but I don't like that. I don't know why they had to do that. It really made me mad, because I don't like that, because that doesn't work that way. I've seen and read vampire movies and books, and vampires just don't appear out of nowhere. So anyway, number 9 is It 2. That's the brand new It movie, the one about the kids part.
Safi, where's the original It? Do you have it on your list?
Yes, Marco.
Okay, that's good. I just wanted to make sure.
Anyway, I thought it was scary, and it was a stressful kind of scary, because that clown appeared everywhere, even in the bathroom. And I thought, my God, if you can't even go to the bathroom without that stupid clown appearing in there, you're not safe from it anywhere. There's no safety zone. There's nowhere, anywhere that thing won't be. And so, I mean, that to me, that's like a grating scary, and but the only thing, it was kind of really more of a kids movie to me. Not just because there were kids, but it just seemed kind of toned down.
Yeah.
But the thing with the stressful, scary was it was bothersome to me. So it made it extra good. Okay, let's see. Number 8 is Children of the Corn. I thought it was good casting, and it was a different story. And I love Isaac and Malachi. I thought they were great villains, just really good. And I'll never forget them. They're so memorable. The only thing about it was the monster that they had living in the cornfield was horrible. It was just not well done, and I'm wondering if they could have done a better job somehow. Okay, number 7, I'm almost done, is It 1. The very first It movie, and where Tim Curry plays the scary clown. I thought he did unbelievable job. He was so scary, and you're never going to forget him. Maybe you'll. I guess the other guy, the Swedish guy, who does the clown now, he does good too. But I mean, they're
He's
Tim Curry.
he's very cartoonish.
Tim Curry is the original scariest clown of them all, and it's just too bad that he's had a stroke and he couldn't do it again, or maybe he couldn't because if you have to hop around and pop up everywhere, you might have to be a little bit wiry uh, and younger like the other guy. But anyway, he did a fabulous job. Okay, my number 6 is Thinner. That was another movie that we watched for our Stephen King week. A reason why I really liked it because it was different, because it focused on weight and also gypsies and curses, and I just thought that was really uh, cool. And it was also short, so they did all this in a short movie. The guy who plays the mafia person, he is he plays a totally different guy than he usually is. He was in Criminal Minds, and he played a serial killer profiler who's a good guy. So for him to play a bad guy is different. And the only thing I didn't like is the poisoning of dogs, and a teenage girl who has done nothing wrong will accidentally get killed. And her father didn't mean to do it, but that's going to happen, and I don't like that. But I mean, we never saw we never saw anything. It was just something that was left up to our
It was
imagination.
technically her fault because she chose to stay home and not follow his instructions.
Yeah, but you can't. You're blaming the victim, and that's
No,
not a good
I'm
thing.
blaming the person who chose to not follow the instructions.
That's called blaming the victim.
Oh, well.
Marvel, I have to finish now. Okay,
Okay.
number 5 is Salem's Lot. I thought that was very scary. I'll never forget that vampire guy floating outside the window and wanting to come in. And God, I never forget it. That's the thing. A movie, a movie that should be one of your best movies that you like there are things about they're unforgettable. If they always stick in your mind, I think that's a good thing, whatever the case may be. And I thought the casting for Salem's Lot was really good. Okay, that was number 5. 4 more left. Okay, number 4 is Misery. I thought that was a really good story. I thought it was good casting, and I thought it was really scary. And that's Stephen King is a horror book writer, and so that's probably, I'd say, one of the scariest books because it's not really based on a monster. It's based on somebody who's gone insane. It's not like a supernatural or a ghost or a vampire or a werewolf. It's a normal person who went insane. So it's scary. If that's makes it scary. Number 3 is The Green Mile. I thought that was a really good story. It was also supernatural, but it was a positive supernatural flavor.
Really?
Yes, and I thought it was really good casting. I think it's a shame that the guy, one of the main actors, I guess he had a heart attack and he passed away. And like they could never make a sequel, or he could never be in anything else. But he's a good actor. That's
Well, he
terrible.
could never be in a sequel because he gets electrocuted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's
Unless he came back and they made that supernatural somehow. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, number 2 is The Shining One. That movie is so scary, and I've seen it so many times. I thought it was excellent casting. I thought there's iconic villains, and meaning they're forever memorably stamped in my mind. And the music is even iconic, which is amazing. Okay, and my number 1 all-time Stephen King movies is Shawshank. I think it should have won an Oscar for the best movie. It's a really good story. It's good casting, and I thought it had a great positive ending, which is hard to believe considering all the negative, horrible things that happened, and even why the story was there in the first place, because the guy was accused who didn't do it, and he had to be there a while to clear himself, and it's just the whole movie. Uh, Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins, and I mean, it's just a really a great movie.
Well, you wanna talk about a movie that's not deserving of any attention? I mean, not deserving as much attention.
What?
Well, guess why his name is Red. Why is Morgan Freeman's name Red?
I
Guess
don't
why?
know.
Because
I didn't read the book, so.
because in the book he is a stereotypical Irish man with red
Oh.
hair, and they changed him into a black man.
Oh.
Disgusting.
Yeah, but it worked out for the movie.
Yeah, it worked out, luckily enough. But in the book, he is a different character, and they ruined that character.
There was it seems like there was an Irish guy. I don't know what his name was. It was one of the lesser characters, but I think I remember somebody like from the beer scene. They're up on the roof, and I think they're re-blackening
There might have been,
the roofing, doing the roofing.
but that's just sickening.
Well,
Because in the
that's
movie,
interesting because the name Red really isn't
I
something.
know.
That is kind of like an Irish
Uh-huh.
kind of nickname.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I didn't know anything about it, but I thought Morgan Freeman is a primo actor, and the decision that they made to change it worked out. And it's really interesting. I do wonder why they decided to change it.
Deconstructing,
Oh,
postmodernism.
I guess I don't know, but anyway, that's my favorite movie, and I know people are going to disagree, but too bad, because that's the way I feel. So that's it for me. And Marco will make his own separate podcast about his, because, like I said, we have not seen overall the same movies. So he's not seen some of the ones I've seen, and I've not seen some of the ones that he has seen. So
You had, was 23 movies on your list, right?
I have 24.
24. So I've seen 7 more Stephen King movies than you. I've seen 31.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. And I'm working on more book reviews. I got my Ann Hillerman book, and I'm reading that now. So I'll be back. See you soon. Bye.
See you for my list, everybody. I can't wait to really hammer on a couple of movies that Safi put a little farther than they deserve, like the Langoliers.
That's your opinion.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.